and flexible to seemingly non-existent. If you don't have established boundaries, you might maintain a distance from others. You may appear emotionally detached, even in intimate relationships that you may have. You may have a limited number of close connections, and you might avoid forming close relationships. With well-defined boundaries, you can express your expectations and emotions. It also sets the standards for acceptable behavior from others and clarifies the behavior others can anticipate from you. Establishing healthy boundaries for your mental health is so crucial for your overall well-being. And here are a few steps that we will talk about of how to set good boundaries for yourself. One is self-awareness. You can reflect on your needs, values, and limits and understand what's important to you and what makes you feel mentally and emotionally balanced. You also can identify triggers and your stressors. Recognize situations, relationships, or activities that negatively impact your mental health. These can be demanding workloads, toxic relationships, or excess social commitments. Another way to establish healthy boundaries is to communicate assertively. Clearly express your boundaries to others and use I statements to communicate your needs and limits effectively without blaming or criticizing. Also, be respectful but firm in stating what is acceptable to you. Another healthy boundary is learning to say no, and this can be hard for many people, but it is totally okay to decline or reject requests or invitations that can overwhelm you, interfere with your well-being, or just things that you don't like in general. Prioritize your mental health by setting limits on what can you reasonably handle. Another healthy boundary is to establish time for self-care. Dedicate time for activities that nourish your mental health, such as relaxation exercises, engage in hobbies that you may enjoy. My self-care activity is reading. I love reading on my free time, or spend time with loved ones. Make self-care a priority and protect that time. Make sure that you do make the time to self-care. Also, another healthy boundary is to set boundaries with technology. Limit your screen time, establish technology-free zones or hours, and avoid constant connectivity to protect your mental well-being. One way that I do this is definitely about an hour before bedtime. I do not watch TV. I do not look at my phone. You can do whatever you want, but it definitely helps me just get that time away from technology. I'll read a book, do a face mask, definitely engage in self-care during that time without technology. And lastly, a healthy boundary to establish is seek support. Surround yourself with individuals who respect your boundaries and provide emotional support. Engage in therapy or counseling if needed to develop healthy coping mechanisms and strengthen your boundary setting skill. And remember that setting boundaries is an ongoing process. It is not something that happens right overnight. It may take time to establish and enforce them consistently. But just remember to be patient with yourself and prioritize your mental health as you navigate the journey of boundary setting. And if you want to learn more about ways to set healthy boundaries, if you do struggle with that, such as if you struggle with saying no, if you struggle with self-care, you always feel like you have to be on the move, you always feel like you have to say yes, connect with an online therapist at Macon Wellness today by calling us at 833-274-HEAL or visit maconwellness.com to get started with the right therapist today. You will be well cared for, as well as learning more about yourself and your boundaries. Thank you all for joining us on this subject today. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please go take care of yourself this weekend. And thank you for joining again, and join us on Monday to learn about self-care tips for your mental health. Thank you all and have a wonderful